and they told the Indians, this is your land. In fact, what it was another con, like Dilma's just building the dam, right? It was to get the Indians to lay down the resistance and become what they call pacified. So they could get all the Indians into this area called Xingu National Park. In actual fact, what it is, it's a reserve. But if the military need that park, they can bomb it tomorrow. And when we made the film Indians way back in 1973, I specifically went there to prove that the military, the Brazilian military, were using Xingu National Park as a military training ground and dropping bombs on the Indians. Now I've got proof of this.
Dreadful.
Right? So nothing's changed. It's just got bigger. Now they're going to drown them all.
Yeah, with the jam. What this International Day, the AmerIndian International Day, I was looking up on the internet, I couldn't find anything. How sad's that?
I'm glad you've mentioned that, because even here in the northwest of England, there's a BBC radio, BBC Northwest.
Yeah.
The top disc jockey, or the announcer, is called John Gillimore. For 2 years now, I've been phoning him up and talking to him, and even went to meet him, didn't we, Jesse? We went 4 months ago. I got filmed him. I gave him a copy of my book. Right,
okay.
I've got
we'll show that. Yeah.
And he didn't even say thank you. He turned his back on me and walked away.
Oh, nightmare.
Right, now what I'm trying to tell you is this. The attitude to Indians is that they're in the way, that they're stopping progression.
Well, it's racist, isn't it?
Well, it is racist, it's obvious. But that's the way it is, because I think there's a great guilt complex. You know, karma, you've got the guilt of the North American Indians.
Yeah.
We took over their land, we stole.
Yeah. But
We've got the Australian Aborigines, we stole their land. New Zealand, you know. The English race, who are now Americans, because the English...
Yeah.
We're a gang of thieves.
Well, at least the American government have helped the American Indians. We went to the Grand Canyon, and there's a whole section there, a big tourist attraction that's run by the Indian nation.
There is, and also
fantastic,
Miami.
Fantastic. So, but that doesn't happen in Brazil and other parts.
Well, I made another film in 1977 called Rowney and Clive Kelly, and Marlon Brando's in that film.
You're kidding me?
Yeah, Marlon Brando. I'll show you the film in a bit. Marlon Brando's in it for 20 minutes, and he runs Black Elk Productions. So Marlon Brando has helped the Indians.
Brilliant.
In fact, I lived in Marlon Brando's house in Mulholland Drive.
You're kidding me?
No, we rented it from him.
Dear me.
So Marlon got involved with the Indians about this. You know, we were involved. In fact, he thanked me personally. I've got a letter saying thank you for helping the Indians, and I said thank you for you helping the Indians. So Marlon Brando brought a lot of awareness to the American government to help the Indians, because they mistreated them just like the Brazilian government are doing now. And unless somebody big speaks up, you know, I tried to get Sting involved so he'd speak up, and James Cameron, you know, Avatar was filmed on my boat, and Avatar is really about me, and Kevin Costner's Waterworld is about me. That was supposed to be me, because James filmed 3 films about me, I'll show you them in a bit, called Captain Kelly's Sailing Tips, 35mm, you know, Panavision.
Yeah.
And he learnt everything he knows about Indians from staying on my boat, seeing all my films, my photographs. You know, I've got 120 hours of interviews worldwide. You know, that's more than most people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're the guru. I'm fascinated by tattoos generally. I've got a good friend who's a tattoo artist in Brighton. Yeah. But this fascinated with the tattoos that you've got, particularly on your face.
Yeah. Well, let's go to this one first.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
If you can close in on this one here on my hand. This is Hukipa, the native dancer.
Yeah.
This one is the 3 Amazon spirits.
Hang on a second. Yeah.
You have...
What's this one called?
This one here is Iwiri. Iwiri.
Okay.
This is the spirit of the earth.
Okay.
This is the spirit of the land. This is the earth and this is the water.
Okay. And are these based on traditional Indian
And these
tattoos?
are all the fish, little fish, these are the daddies, these little fish. And the arrowhead points the way to the village, which is there.
Okay.
So the fish feed the village. These tattoos are done, especially this one as well. I've got them all over my body. I mean, I've got...
I'm just doing your feet at the moment. So what's that one on your feet?
This one here was done by an Indian chief whilst I was sailing across the Atlantic, and he did it with boot polish.
Are you kidding me? That must have been painful, mustn't it?
Yeah, boot polish, and the needle he used was a bamboo, just like that. And he cut the arrow point and with his knife. And
Yeah. What's that one on your chest?
well, this one is an Indian head with a pyramid behind, and he's taking his matoka out, which is lip disc.
Yeah.
And this one here represents the galleon that we were supposed to be what you call. We came across from Norway.
Oh, so they are oars, are they?
Yeah, that's the skull of a boat. One of those.
And what's that bird? Is it a bird?
This one, what is it? I can't remember. What is it?
It looks like a dragon.
No, the dragon's here.
Oh, well, let's have a look at that one.
There you go.
The ones that fascinate me the most are the ones on your face.
Right. Well.
What's that all about, Clive?
Well, that's all about. I was building a museum, a theme park, where you can be an Indian for a day, a Disneyland.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got the land and everything, started to build it with Rowney. Chief Rowney was the honorary president, and I was the president.
Yeah.
It's in a place called Itapuã, Bahia, Brazil.
Yeah.
And Rowney says to me, he says, well, if you ever do any interviews, or you talk to the white man, yeah, put on the markings of our tribe, because I give you the spirit to talk.
Right.
I give you, and not only that, isn't it funny that the Dalai Lama's brother also gave me the power, he called the power to speak. I have been given the power by both the Dalai Lama's brother and Chief Rowney to speak. But I have the tribal markings to do it when I'm talking about Indians, yes?
Yeah. Where did you get them done?
Chief Rowney drew them on my face,
Yeah.
right, with, a black marker pen, and my brother tattooed them on.
Kidding me?
No. And as you notice, they go right into the eye.
God, yeah.
And even along the bottom eyelid.
Oh, is that the red?
No, it's black there if you look along the inside eyelid.
Yeah.
But I couldn't finish the other side because it hurt so much. It hit my eye and it went red. So these tribal markings on my head and my eyes are from Chief Rowney, but permanently put in by my brother who was living with me in Brazil at the time.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
And some of these others, like this one, these and this, were done by shoe polish and needle and bamboo points. They're not done by electric machine.
No. And this Rani. Rayoni. This amazing mouthpiece that he has.
Yeah, it's called a batoka.
Right.
And
what's that all about?
well, there's several things about that. I know the real reason.
Yeah,
I'm the only one in the world, I think, that's ever sussed that out. Nobody else has ever told me, and I've done lots of interviews about this. Most people say it's because it makes him look like a warrior.
Yeah.
Makes him, people look at him and be afraid.
Yeah.
That's the same philosophy as the Japanese, what do you call
Ninjas, yeah.
Yeah, ninjas, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, I had a small one. I took it out. Yeah, I did. Rowney did it. Chief Rowney pierced my ear in the middle of the jungle. It's on film. It's in part of the film Rowney and Clive Kelly.
Same.
But I took it out because it's difficult to kiss girls. and
we need to do that, don't we?
Yeah, well they don't kiss. That's not part of their culture to kiss. It's not hers.
Right.
She thinks it's very strange to kiss, but she's very good at other things. But to actually kiss, it's not part of the culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's part of ours. But that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Now I know what the reason is.
Okay.
Right. The Indians come over through India many years ago. They crossed the Bering Straits, and when they got to the bottom of the Bering Straits, they had a choice: turn left or turn right, which the land goes left or right. So if they turned left, they became Mohicans, Canadian Indians. Those that carried on became Inuits and Eskimos. They're the same people. They're all the same DNA. The others turned right and became the Kiowa Indians. Okay. Now, they're the Kiowa that are killing themselves. You put up today on Facebook a cutting about the Awa Indians.
Absolutely.
That's the Kiowa. They are the Kiowa.
Ah, okay. And now, this is on the BBC News website, which I thought was was good that at least they were getting publicity. Like they were
Good,
getting
but
killed,
I
you
was
know.
giving them publicity like 30 years ago when they were hanging themselves. As soon as they became age 13 and 14, they were hanging themselves because they didn't want to be civilised.
Oh, nice.
And that tribe, just about 3 months ago, were forced off the land. They went to the side of the road and the farmer's still mowing them down. He mows one down about a week, kills them by tractor. Because they're living at the side of the highway, they want them at the Kiowa. Now the Kiowa originally come from India, and I proved this. They speak the language of Mahatma Gandhi, which is called Dravidian or Gujarati. Right? There's certain words in their language which proves that they came down, and as I say, some turned left and became Eskimos, some turned right and came down the Americas, down the islands, the Caribbean islands, where you've got the Taino Indians and the Guarani Indians. And I know this by the different types of pottery, because the Indian tribes die. They only use wooden things, bows and arrows and things, but they make pottery. And by the types of pottery, I know the type of tribe and where they're from, because I'm an indigenista. That's my job, to know the culture.
Yeah.
Some scratch the design in, some paint the design in. And where I find the pottery, I know the age by the markings. So I know that certain tribes carried all the way down to the end of Argentina, and where it then starts to become South Antarctic, you know, and they're the Tuma Indians. Now I've been with them people, I've spent time with them, and I've studied their culture.
So
What I'm saying is the Indians in the Americas, they are from China, Japan, Mongolia and Asia. The reason they're a lip disc, that Rowney, when you put that lip disc in, it's made of balsa wood and it stays wet.
Right.
But it's strong, it's a type of balsa wood that's strong but light, lighter than the normal balsa wood and stronger.
Yeah.
So it's wet because there's a sweat gland in there, just in there there's a sweat gland. So constantly that lip disc is red, and he also puts on it this stuff, this red paint which attracts liquid. So his lip, the bigger the plate, the more the radiator works.
Okay.
It keeps him cool.
Right, okay.
So he can
So it's a
run
practical
all
thing as
day
well.
in the Amazon with his hunting club, killing jaguars
Yeah.
that run at 60 miles an hour.
I know.
He can run, not that fast, but he can run, and he gets them with this, and he keeps his body cool with his lip disc.
Right.
It's his radiator.
I see. I didn't know.
I
That's
sussed
dead
that out.
interesting.
No, I sussed that out. Nobody else. The
Very
first
good.
time I ever told that on camera, I only sussed that out thinking about it last
So
week.
we got an exclusive. So viewers that are watching this, you know, will hopefully have your passion in terms of helping the Indians. What do you think is the best way for people, the general public, to help? Is it money?
Well, I mean, you know, I told you, I've just been defrauded out of land in Brazil, where I was building the museum. They've just sold it, right? And the government have allowed it.
Who's done that?
They've allowed it to be sold to a politician. For me to get it back now, I have to go back to Brazil and fight in a court of law, right? Now, if I do that, I've been told I'll be shot as soon as I get off the plane.
Yeah.
Obviously, I will. It's 40 million.
Yeah.
You know,
Big
you can
business,
have
yeah.
somebody shot, wrapped up in a package, a black plastic bag, in pieces for $40 in certain parts of Brazil.
Life's so cheap, isn't it?
Life's so cheap.
That's so cheap.
So
yeah.
I'm going back, and there's a 40 million that the government have already, they've not only done it with me, they've got all lands that have been given to the Indians, what they call demarcated. In other words, the local governments have said, yes, that's your land, here are the boundaries. It's all been taken off them in the last year by this new president. So anybody that's got anything to do with helping the Indians, or the Indians themselves with their own land, they're losing it. We have a corrupt government in power that's financed by France, England, America, Germany, and a lot of European countries, including the Pope's thing, you know, his business, which is called the Vatican Investment Corporation. They have the biggest farm in the world.
And they're corrupt as well.
Oh, of course they had them the worst corrupt of the lot of them. Vatican's the worst corrupt of the lot. They're knocking off little boys, cutting out the tonsils and calling them, you know, alto singers. They've been doing it forever. You know, the most corrupt system ever. Religion is just, I mean, I feel so embarrassed having to tell people that should be knowing these things. It's bloody obvious. It's corruption. It's the worst corruption. Religion. Who's going to tell me there's a guy living in the sky called God sitting on a cloud playing the bleeding harp? You're all out of your minds. You're all afraid.
So
Buddhism, you are your own. You know, if you're a Buddhist, you're responsible for yourself. What you do wrong, you'll get. When you die, everything that you've done in life, you're going to get back.
Yeah, absolutely.